All right, so we're a couple weeks out from Route 66 Marathon, and if you've ever worked with me, or if you've looked at our guide that's about injury prevention for runners, then you're gonna know that we talk about how we win in the warm-up. Warm-ups are one of the most important things that we can do, and I wanna make sure that you guys have this dialed in before we get to race day, so we can keep you from getting injured, number one, but number two, I want you to be able to have fun and race and run fast, okay? So let's take a look at some of the things we do in our warm-up. Foam rollers have gotten controversial in the past because we don't actually know if they do what we think that they do. But what I can tell you is I've never had a patient use this and not feel better after doing so. It's just gonna help to open up the muscles a little bit, get you some blood flow. But what I don't want is to have you spending 30 minutes foam rolling just so that you can go out and have a nice run. So how do we use this? We're gonna dive into all of those runner muscles that we'll use. Okay, you wanna work through both of the hips, get those glutes on, roll those out, and we're gonna spend 15, 20, up to 30 seconds a piece on each of these areas. I just want you rolling back and forth, and we have two options with this. You can just roll over the area, or here in a minute, I'm gonna show you a way that we can kind of do a pin and stretch with this, okay? You wanna roll over the glutes, roll through the hamstrings and the calves on the back side, and then we're gonna roll through the quads on the front side. And if you were wanting to do that pin and stretch, let's say you get down here and you're rolling and you find one really nasty spot there, you can just hang out on that spot and then move into a stretch from here, okay? There's two options when we're rolling. You can do either one, but I don't want you hanging out here forever. Just go ahead, hop on, roll out, feel a little bit better, get some blood flow, and then let's dive into the rest of our warm-up. All right, now we've got some blood flow through the legs. You've got those muscles warmed up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get your heart rate up some, okay? We're gonna use lunging to do this. This is gonna translate really well into your running. And what I want you guys to do is we're gonna do a forward lunge, a reverse lunge, and a side lunge. And we're gonna go through 5 per leg with this, okay? By the time you finish these, you should be breathing a little heavy. Your heart should be pumping pretty good. And that's gonna really get you warm for all of these different ranges we're going through as we're running. All right, if you're a human, you've probably dealt with tight hamstrings at some point, and if we're gonna go for a run, you wanna make sure those are nice and loose. So the way we're gonna do this is a task-based toe touch, okay? If you can't touch your toes, it's no big deal. You're just gonna go shins. And if we can get past the shins as we start to warm up, great. If we can get to the toes, great. But you just wanna reach a little bit further with each one, okay? We're gonna start by a big reach for the ceiling. Try to keep those legs straight, come down, see if we can touch our toes. And all I want is for you to do 10 reps of this, reaching a little bit further with each one. Let's say that toe touch is easy. We're gonna work towards palms on the floor, okay? Good, you're just gonna knock out 10 reps of this, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing. Good, now those hamstrings are nice and loose. We wanna make sure that your shins are warm. If you're a runner, you may have been dealing with shin splints now or in the past, and we really wanna make sure that we're not slapping our feet as we run. Okay, that's gonna put a lot of force through the ankles and knees and hips. So we wanna get these guys nice and warm. And what we wanna do is lean back against the wall, try to keep those knees straight if you can, and then we're just gonna lift the toes as high as you comfortably can, okay? This is step number 1. The further away from the wall you are, the harder this is gonna be. And if you want to, we can also work on stretching those hammies and some compression strength at the same time, where you actually work your way down further. You can go all the way to the floor if you're loose enough to do that, or you can press into some yoga blocks as we do these shin lifts. And I just want you to do about 20 of these, okay? That should have those shins nice and warm so that we're gonna be able to control that range as we go for our run. All right, at this point, blood should be pumping. You should be feeling pretty good. We want to do some hops, okay? Running is a plyometric exercise. It's hopping on one leg the whole time back and forth. So we wanna do 20 hops just to get all of these things nice and warm, get our tendons warmed up, make sure we're ready to handle that load as we go for our run. So we're just gonna do 20 hops, just like you were jump roping, maybe a jumping jack. Any way we wanna do this, different positions. You just wanna knock out 20 hops and make sure that all of these joints and tendons and muscles are all ready for that load. Now we're gonna add in a stretch that is beneficial for most humans overall, but definitely runners. I don't know if I've ever met one that didn't have tight hips. So you're gonna start seated with one foot right next to your butt. Your foot is gonna come up and over that knee. Now, if you can't get there, it's fine to lift your butt to get to that position. Goal number 1 is gonna be to work your butt down towards the floor. You may feel a stretch there already, and that's totally fine, but if you don't, keep your butt towards the floor and lean away from that hip, and you should feel a lot more of a stretch here. Okay, generally I'll have people do this for 2 minutes, but if you're getting ready and warming up for a run, you don't necessarily want to spend a ton of time. Let's just do a minute per side, okay? We know you're gonna be spending your time doing your run. I'm not gonna make you hang out forever to do your warm-up because you're just not gonna do it. So if we can get a minute per side, you should feel this start to open up, and things are gonna feel much better as we go out and go for that good run. And last but not least, we're gonna go for a brisk 5-minute walk. You wanna just go out and walk and increase your speed a little bit until you hit that 5-minute mark, and then you can just go straight off into jogging, okay? This is a really simple warm-up, and feel free to tailor this to your needs. If you have no idea what you're doing and you're just looking for a place to start, it's a really good place to start. But as you dive into some of this, you're gonna notice that there's things that feel better to you than others, and there may be other things you wanna add in, and that's totally fine. Just know how powerful it is to get warm before we go for our run, because if you're not doing something like this, it's very likely that we're gonna end up seeing you in our office. Now, if you are doing a warm-up and you're still dealing with an injury, or you're still having aches and pains and you just need a tune-up, or you need someone to guide you into running again without pain or without injury, we're here for you. In our office, we offer all kinds of different therapies, from your traditional chiropractic care, a lot of different soft tissue therapies. We have low-level laser, decompression, taping. There's a million ways that we can help you get to your peak, and we're here and we're ready for you. So if you have questions or you're looking for someone to guide you on that journey, feel free to reach out and we'll get you taken care of.